Hey everybody, it's Naya. Today we're going to be doing a 20-minute no-foot yoga routine. Well, just one foot yoga routine. So I've tried a lot of broken foot or no-foot yoga routines on YouTube, and a lot of them are really gentle, which is okay for when you're recovering, but for someone athletic like me, it's time to step up my game. So today we're going to be doing a 20-minute yoga routine for people with broken feet. Obviously, if any of these poses hurt or you feel uncomfortable, don't do them. I'm not a doctor. You should speak with your doctor before doing these. All right, the first pose we're going to start in is a child's pose position. Because I'm in a cast, this is going to be more like an up dog position. So more of my chest is going to be on the ground than in a normal child's pose. So we're going to get down to all fours and stretch out those arms in front of you. It's okay if your butt doesn't go all the way down to your heels, especially with the cast on. We're going to take a few deep breaths. As you exhale, try to let your chest touch the ground. On your next exhale, try to sink a little bit lower into your heels. All right, now we're going to bring both hands to the right and really stretch into that side body. Breathe in and breathe out deeply. One more deep breath here. And switch sides. Bring your arms to the left-hand side and stretch out the right side body. One more deep breath in and exhale. Sink deep into your chest. And let's come back to the middle. One more second in child's pose, and then we're going to come up to a tabletop position. Here in tabletop, we're going to do a few rounds of cat and cow just to get our bodies warmed up before we get into some more complicated poses. So we are going to start with our cow pose. The butt is going to go up, your chest lifts, you're going to look up to the ceiling. Inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to tuck the tailbone, arch the back, and push the floor away with the palms of your hands. Now we're going to sync this motion with our breath. So as you inhale, you're going to go into cow pose. And as we exhale, we'll go into cat pose. Let's do a few rounds of this. All right, now find a neutral spine. We're gonna do a little flow here, so we're gonna bring our left leg out and our right hand out. We're going to crunch in, exhale, and extend, inhale. Let's sync rhythm or motion with breath. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to crunch. Let's do this 2 more times. And switch sides, so extend your right foot and your left hand. Inhale and exhale, crunch. Keep your right palm nice and flat. We have a tendency to curl our fingers, so let's keep that nice and flat. And plant both hands and both knees on the ground. Now we're going to take our right hand and thread it under your left arm. Option to take a bind here and bring your left hand to your right hip and roll up so that you're looking at the ceiling. Take a few deep breaths here. Good, let's come out of the bind, plant the hands, and now we're going to switch sides. Your left hand is going to come up and through under your right arm. Extend your right arm or take a bind. A few deep breaths here. And extend your right hand, place it on the ground, and we're going to come back to a tabletop position. Next, we're going to individually stretch both legs. So first, let's bring the right leg out, toes on the ground. We're going to pulse a few times here to really get that nice stretch. I especially feel it in my knees because of a prior injury. And switch. If this is too much on your broken ankle, then feel free to skip this pose or just extend the leg long. Personally, I am having difficulties bending my toes because my cast cuts them off. All right, now we are going to go into a down dog position. What is important here is that we don't touch the cast or boot to the floor. So we're going to plant your good foot, for lack of a better word, and we are going to send our hips up to the sky, and you're going to hover your other foot, your broken foot. All right, here we go. I'm gonna lift up and float the other foot so that it almost touches the ground, or it can gently tap against the ground, whatever your comfort level is today. We're gonna rock back and forth a few times. You can bend your good leg up and down a few times. So what we're going to do here is we are going to lift our broken leg up and over into a scorpion pose. We're going to stay here for a few minutes, really ground through those hands. And we're going to bring the broken leg through. So this is going to be like the modified warrior sequence. So I'm going to twist my left leg and come up. And this might feel a little bit awkward, so feel free to put the knee anywhere where it feels comfortable to you. And I'm going to swing my arms over into the warrior pose. This way we're not on our feet, but at least we're doing something with our core and arms. All right, now we're going to lean back and stretch up to the sky. And let's come back, bring our hands back down, switch your legs back over, and back up into down dog. And I'm sorry for not knowing all of the proper terminology for these poses. I'm not a qualified yoga instructor, I'm just an enthusiast. All right, so we're gonna bring the injured foot back up, but this time we're going to bring it to the ground and bring our other foot forward. going to cycle the hands over, look out over our left arm, and take a few deep breaths here. All right, we're going to lean back. And bring your palms to the ground. Move your leg behind you. And we're going to stay in this tabletop position so that we can do some three-legged table poses. So first thing, you're going to lift your left foot. And you're going to bring it over and stack your hips. Or, I'm sorry, keep your hips even. All right, let's take a couple more deep breaths here. And switch. Bring this one up and over. And we're going to bring the knees down to the ground. Let's come into a child's pose or up dog position for a couple seconds. Take a few deep breaths here and stretch it out. All right, and back into a tabletop position. We are going to come back on our heels and then slide our hands forward into a modified chaturanga. All the way down to the ground. Then we're going to lift up a little bit and feel free to come all the way down on your forearms and look over your shoulders. This has a really nice stretch for the upper and lower back. You'll notice that there might be some popping happening, but make sure that nothing hurts while you're doing these poses. Okay, now we're going to plant the hands and come all the way up into a cobra pose. And while we're in the cobra pose, we're going to take a few deep breaths. Press your shoulders away from your ears. We're going to come back down to the belly and straight up into down dog. Now we are going to take our left foot or our injured foot and bring it all the way through and sideways into a pigeon pose. Stretch out your other leg and come down to your forearms if that is accessible to you. Feel free to also stretch out those arms. I find that's a really nice stretch. All right, we're going to plant the hands back. We're going to plant the back foot and come back up into down dog. For the other side, this is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to bring my knees to the ground and I'm going to bring my good leg through. So we just take a few more steps to get all the way down to the ground, but we're going to end up in the pigeon pose eventually. If that method doesn't work for you, feel free to find a different method to get down to the floor. And plant the hands, come back to the knees, and up into down dog. Now we are going to do some things that would otherwise be done standing. We are going to do it on our knees. So bring your knees to the ground, and we're going to lift all the way up from here. I know that at first when I had my original cast, this was really difficult for me to do. So if this is not accessible to you, let's just stay in a seated position. You could be in any seated position that is comfortable to you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to extend our arms out to the side, and we're going to fold all the way down so that your forehead touches the ground. Then we're going to do a halfway lift. So come up, bring your hands to your thighs, and then all the way up, bring your hands to the ceiling. Then we're going to swan dive all the way back down so that your head touches the ground. Bring those hands to your thighs or keep them at your sides. And halfway lift. That's all core right there. And all the way up. One more time. All right. Now we're going to do a few more stretches here, and then we're going to come to our backs. So first, from here, we're going to bring our injured foot out in front of us, just like this. You're going to lean back on your hands, just your fingertips, onto your back knee. And really stretch out your knees, your legs. This is a great pose. And we're going to bring it forward, bring your hands forward, and bring your other leg back. Then we're going to switch. Bring this foot around and lean back on your fingertips. I definitely have a lot more mobility in this leg right now, so I'm leaning a little bit further back than I am with the other leg. And it's okay to not be symmetrical, especially with an injury. All right, we're gonna bring our hands forward to our knees. All right, now find a safe way to get down to your back. All right, so we're gonna rest on our backs. And we are going to bring the knees to the chest. The first pose that we are going to be doing is the happy baby pose. So grab a hold of your toes or your feet, whatever is most comfortable for you, and bring your legs up. You can try to straighten them. If you need a bit more bend in your knees, that's perfectly acceptable. Now we're going to rock side to side. All right, and release the feet, bring your knees to your chest. Now you're going to bring your right hand to your left knee, bring your left arm out like a cactus, and drop both knees to the right. Try to relax your back, your face, your arms. Take a few more deep breaths here. And now we're going to switch. So cactus, your right arm, bring your left hand to your right knee, and we're going to fall to the other side. Once again, it's okay to not be symmetrical here. Relax your chest, your face, your arms. Take a few more deep breaths. And let's come back up through the middle. Now we are going to bring our injured foot, or my left foot, in a figure 4 pose. You're going to bring your arms behind your right thigh, and we're just going to stretch. This might feel really good for some people and not so good for others. Today it's not feeling super great, so I'm going pretty light on the stretch, but feel free to go deeper. Whatever is best for you. Take a few more deep breaths. And let's switch sides. So I'm going to bring my right ankle to my left knee. And this time I'm going to be able to do a deeper stretch because this side feels better for me today. Good. Now we're going to switch again. But this time we are going to bring our right hand to our left knee and bring the whole twist over. Cactus that left hand. You're going to really feel the stretch in your back. Good. And now we're going to come back up through the middle. Bring your right ankle over your left knee, left hand to the right knee, and bring the whole twist over. Cactus that right hand. A few more deep breaths here. All right, and come back up through the middle. We have a couple more stretches to do, and then we'll do a shavasana. So the first thing we're going to be doing is the candlestick pose. So first I'm going to bring my legs up, and I'm going to roll my hands underneath my back, my lower back. And I'm going to bring my legs up and as straight as possible, resting my head. Don't put any pressure on your neck and head. This is all in your upper back and in the backs of your arms. We're going to stay here for a while. If you need to come down, that is also acceptable. And when you're ready, we're going to bring our legs all the way over. Place your fingers together behind your back. And then we're going to roll back nice and slow. All right, now we're going to butterfly our legs. And we're going to do some stretches right here on the floor, the legs butterflied. Just some normal stretches, the ones that you might do in PE class. All right, so we're going to bring our right arm across the body. Get that nice deep stretch. Let's say you have 2 more seconds. And switch sides. Try to get those knees to touch the floor as much as possible. I know that that's not accessible to everyone. It's not accessible to me today. That's what practice is for. All right, excellent. Let's lace those fingers again and bring them up for a big, deep stretch. All right, bring the knees back to the chest. Give yourself a big hug. We're gonna rock back and forth, side to side for a while. All right, feel free to stay here as long as you need. We're going to go into a shavasana, so stretch your legs out. Bring your hands down to your side. rest your head. And let's take a few deep breaths here. Personally, I don't like a very long shavasana, but feel free to stay here for as long as possible. Thank you for joining me today, and best luck on your injuries. You'll get back at it soon. Thank yourself for coming to the mat today. It can be a lot after being an athlete and having so many activities that you're not able to do for the time being. Circumstances are temporary, and you will get back to what you were doing very soon. Thank you for joining me today.